Yes, good. You look good. Ready to go?
Yeah, you know that it's been a whole month since we're recording BiznesPolska Live. I realized
really?
it today. Yeah.
Wow.
30
Okay.
days.
So first month of our anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's go. First story.
Lockheed Martin wins additional $31 million deal to support Aegis Ashore site. The Pentagon's #1 weapons supplier, Lockheed Martin Corporation, has received a $30.6 million US missile defense agency contract modification under the Poland Aegis Ashore engineering agent contract.
Yeah, in fact, good with that defense and the terminology and the words, different stuff there. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually an extension of an existing contract, 100 million. So it goes to 130 million. Okay, we know the military budgets are getting bigger for Poland. U.S. suppliers are important and big, as well as Western European. Congrats to Lockheed Martin, next deal for them. And that will be located up in northeast Poland, in fact, that location. Okay, next story.
Estonian Inbank posts record profit driven by Polish unit. Growth has been driven by the Polish business unit, as the Polish unit more than tripled its volume and contributed 43 million euros to total sales.
Yeah, this is great because this is a classic Estonian non-bank or fintech that's set up first of all, in the Baltics and has expanded into Poland. And what they're doing is providing loans for consumer loans, automotive, housing, small purchases as well. They're doing very well. They're seeing the Polish side of the business begin to exceed their Baltic business. They're also into Germany and Western Europe with deposit taking, but not creating loans there yet. So that'll be an interesting company to keep your eyes on. We'll see them grow significantly, in my opinion. Okay, next story.
75 million zlotys from ZUS Social Insurance Fund for work safety innovations. Up to 500,000 zlotys co-financing is waiting for companies who want to introduce solutions in the company to improve worker safety.
This is a classic, in my opinion, the beauty of selfishness. What they're doing is ZUS is creating awards for fine solutions, so ZUS doesn't have to pay people that are on long-term.
I didn't think about this way.
Yes, that's how they're doing it. Essentially, they put 75 million into it, but think about the savings that they'll have. The people who are healthy and working and not sitting back relying on ZUS. Good project. Cool to see some good things coming out of ZUS. Not always the case. Good. Next story.
Poland poised for strong post-pandemic investment recovery. Last year saw only a temporary slowdown in foreign investments. South Korea and the United States were the leaders in FDI to Poland in 2020. And the largest number of projects were focused on business services, then electromobility, automotive industry, and research and development.
Yeah, the two things that stand out for me are the Koreans continuing to push very hard into Poland. And they are pushing hard on the EV, electric vehicle, and everything around that ecosystem as we see batteries, etc. The second part is the continued growth of shared service centers in Poland and Central East Europe. Big already, getting stronger, getting bigger. We'll continue to see that growth continue. We're happy about that because we have a big presence in that space ourselves. As you know, you were at our event 1 month ago. So we'll see that sector continue to grow. And that's good for Polish small cities. I mean, the smaller towns like Opola and Białystok and Bydgoszcz are getting good bit of business from these shared service centers, which are becoming also IT centers. It's kind of one and the same. It's very hard to differentiate between the two. Okay, next story.
Biggest infrastructure project in Eastern Europe rumbles into Poland. Rail Baltica, built from scratch, will connect the 3 Baltic states with the high-speed network of the rest of the EU. The project's biggest chunk is in Poland, where the construction work started back in 2019.
Yeah, big project, EU financed. It's such a big project that the EU has said, well, we'll take in some other partners outside the EU. So they're now opening up the financing and projects to US and Chinese companies. One of the coolest things they're going to do is they're looking at doing a under the Baltic Sea tunnel from Estonia to Finland. So you'd go under the sea with a tunnel for both goods and cars. So interesting to see how that project goes. Cool infrastructure project. Okay, next one.
CEE countries to boost biomed academic research with 3 billion euros funds. Alliance for Life, an association of biomedical research institutes in Central and Eastern Europe, has announced the launch of an EU-funded project aiming to improve the culture, strategic management, and the overall condition for scientific excellence in the region.
Yeah, so the EU continues to throw lots of money at research, R&D, so-called value added. They've got a 100 billion euro fund for biomed research in Europe, and CE is getting 3.3%. Not so big, but okay, we'll take it, right? We'll take it. 3.3 billion euros is still big money. But that's interesting. And of course, the biomed, given the environment of the last year with COVID, hot topic, hot subject, everyone's all over it. Capital pouring into the research and development. Interesting to see what else will come out of that, and new projects out of Poland. We've already seen some COVID solutions and production solutions coming out of Poland for essentially a biomed solution. So cool to watch how that develops. Next story.
First Polish offshore wind maintenance port gets started. Equinor has completed the acquisition of a site at the port of Łeba to serve as the operations and maintenance base for the Polish Baltic Sea offshore wind projects.
So here, my take on this is we got the big offshore Baltic Sea offshore wind projects, and now you're gonna need all that support function. And so this is a maintenance project, and it's good just going to places like Łeba. Have you ever been to Łeba, by the way? That's where the big Polish dunes are, the sand dunes.
No,
right?
I've been visited many cities at the Baltic Sea, but not Łeba, unfortunately.
It is really very beautiful. That huge sand dune in the middle of it's really beautiful and huge and fun to go. But I must say also, Łeba is a really underdeveloped economically place. You could even say poor place, not a very developed place. So good to see some business moving into Łeba. I think it will be good for the city and the citizens there. Okay, next story.
Polish apples emerged from crisis unbruised. Unbruised, yeah. Overall, we had more demand for fruit and vegetables last year as consumers started to think more about their health and diet, said CEO Jan Nowakowski of apple producer Genesis Fresh. I'm thinking about the very popular sentence that one apple a day keeps your doctor away. That's right?
Keeps the doctor away, exactly. I tell that's my daughter almost every day, exactly.
Ah, okay.
So funny, very true. Well, I think it's funny you think of COVID, how it affects everything. Well, it affects apple producers. I didn't even think about that, but it's incredible how every single sector has been touched by this. But they're doing well also because the spring weather has not been so cold. It's been okay. It's been wet, but not so bad. And they're doing pretty well. And he is, in fact, Nowakowski had said as well that they're exporting more to the east in Asia. Where they have higher demand for high quality apples. So very high quality apples in Japan, for example. Okay, next story. Speaking of Japan.
Yeah, Yokohama Rubber buys Polish tire distributor. The Yokohama Rubber Corporation announced that in early May, its European headquarters, Yokohama Europe, signed an agreement to acquire a 100% equity stake in Poland's ITR CE Spółka ZOO, a wholesale distributor engaged in the import and sale of Yokohama tires in Central and Eastern Europe.
Yeah, classic Japanese strategy for getting into Central Europe. Work with a partner for a while, then they just do an M&A, buy the whole operation. This gives them a very strong footprint, Yokohama, into expanding further into Central East Europe and, of course, into Western Europe. They're going to rename the company to Yokohama CE Spółka ZOO very soon. So we'll watch that develop. Japanese have been a little bit slow in this crisis in Central Europe, but we think there's some clear signs they're picking up the speed on the M&A side. So we'll look for some more Japanese deals. We'll be talking about it here in the next few months. Done for the day. News over. Last story.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. The weekend is ahead of us.
Exactly. Have a great weekend, Magda. Talk to you Monday.
Yeah. See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.